Thousands of protesters are filling the streets in Tel Aviv. Demonstrators are demanding a ceasefire in the war between Israel and Hamas. This after the deaths of 6 Israeli hostages. Protesters say it may be their only hope of finding the remaining captives alive. And as you can see, police used water cannons on demonstrators. The protesters' goal is to pressure Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to reach a ceasefire deal with Hamas. One of the hostages found dead, 23-year-old Israeli-American Hirsch Goldberg Poland, whose parents are originally from Chicago. Good evening, I'm Charlie DeMar. Tonight, Jewish people are mourning together, holding vigils and praying to show support for the families of those killed. Several Chicago synagogues are among those uniting in the face of heartbreak. Our Andrew Ramos is live in the newsroom with that part of the story. Good evening, Andrew.
Good evening, Charlie. Well, it was the news that for nearly a year those families were dreading to hear, and the effort to bring them home became synonymous with the Goldberg Poland family, who were in many ways the face of this campaign. Now they're preparing to bury their son.
Thank you for joining us on this difficult day.
Mourners from across the Chicago area gathered virtually Sunday evening through Chicago's Anshe Emet Synagogue to honor the 6 hostages whose bodies were recovered from an underground tunnel in Rafah this weekend. The victims, according to Israel's Ministry of Health, were all shot in the head between 48 to 72 hours ago.
The prospect of what happened in the last 48 hours was always front and center in our minds.
The loss of 23-year-old Hirsch Goldberg Poland hits closer to home for the Jewish United Fund, an organization that has been in close contact with his family since October 7th.
Throughout this whole ordeal, we've been really connected to the family. He still has 2 grandmothers here and aunts and uncles, and so the family is here, and we've been connecting with them all the time for the last 11 months or so.
Goldberg Poland became one of the most recognized hostages due in part by his parents, Rachel Goldberg and John Poland, who have worked tirelessly to keep the crisis and their son on the global stage. Even addressing the Democratic National Convention last month, the White House confirming President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris personally spoke to Hirsch's parents on Sunday. Local groups now doing what they can to comfort the families of the hostages. The Chicago Jewish Alliance marched in Skokie, saying while they grieve, they will continue to raise their voices against violence and hatred. The Hamas October 7th terrorist attack sparked a war that not only left 1,200 Israelis dead, but also more than 40,000 Palestinians in Gaza. Now, Goldberg Poland's funeral is set to take place tomorrow in Jerusalem. We're told relatives here in Chicago will be traveling there to attend the service. Reporting in the newsroom, Andrew Ramos, CBS News, Chicago.
A tragic update. Thanks so much, Andrew.